Hello and welcome to another episode of Killer Ant Reviews. Today we'll be talking about Myth Conceptions by Robert Asprin. This is actually the second book of the series. And all I can say is I do enjoy this series. I would have reviewed the first one, but I sold it before I even started doing this. I read it probably a good year or so ago. So I'm just going to quickly review this. Basically, it's from a series of books called the Myth series. Obviously, I've read several books, and I do highly enjoy this. The first one is about a young apprentice named Skeeve, whose master was killed, and he meets kind of a demon creature named a perfect or something. Everyone keeps calling him a pervert, which is actually pretty funny. Him himself is a good mage, but during a little accident, he actually loses his powers. So now he's trying to teach this mage apprentice of how to basically be a mage. The first book, they basically have to go and avenge his master by going after the main villain, another powerful mage. And in the meantime, they meet a bunch of really crazy characters. For example, they encounter like a unicorn, which hilariously he keeps from this one demon hunter guy who they managed to trick. He's not that bright. Also, while in the marketplace, he managed to get himself a dragon too. This entire series basically is a good parody of a lot of stuff. And there's also a lot of dimension hopping. The Myth series kind of reminds me of a PG version of Rick and Morty, but if Morty was smart and Rick wasn't a jerk all the time. Because they have a lot of absolutely crazy adventures. This one, they have to go and actually stop a general in their army, and it's basically a no-win situation. They're hoping, the main characters were hoping like, hey, if we become a mage, it'll be like an easy job. We get paid. And nope. They have to go in and take on this huge army. And all they have is just them, the dragon, unicorn, and another companion, and a couple other companions who follows them as well. I think they actually get like a gargoyle. They got Tanada. I think I mispronounced her name. She's someone who tagged along in the first one too. She has a good head on her shoulders, so it's pretty cool. And it's also kind of felt like a no-win situation, because if they lose, basically they're dead. If they win, the general of the city that they're working for is threatening to kill them. And if they run away, the counselor, who has a lot of connections, says that they're going to basically be sentenced to death in any city they step foot into. So yeah, so they have to figure out how to beat this army and not get killed by anyone. And they use a combination of magic and trickery. And the thing is like, I always enjoy the endings, because the endings to these books are, you never really expect these endings to go anywhere. Like, you're thinking like, oh my god, this is going to be a huge fight scene. Nope. It turns out, turns out that they're actually really good at convincing people. And that's basically how a lot of the series is. It's like, yeah, we're not the best, but they're also... It's like if you're in a video game with a charisma of like 100. Something happens, you have to talk yourself out of it. Do I recommend these books? Yes, I definitely do. I'm actually going to review more of them. I still got a couple more that I haven't read yet. They're somewhere in my collection, which is about 60-something. I got way too many books. I keep getting more and more and more. It's a bad habit, I know. So what would I rate it? I definitely rate the first one a very strong 8.5. It does a little bit more explaining, but it's pretty funny. This one I love even more. Mainly because they throw in a few other jokes in there. Like, they throw in what is basically a fast food place. Obviously, it's like representation of like McDonald's. So it's... You get that joke pretty early on, and they always have recurring gags like like this guy right here, the green guy, they keep calling him a pervert, and they have to keep correcting people. And they also have a decent amount of action when Steve actually gets pretty pissed off. He actually ends up being quite competent in at least doing something with magic. Overall, the second book is a very strong 9. Absolutely love it. That's why I really love this series, because the series has always been strong. I'm hoping to get the rest so I can continue reading into the last one. So if you ever see these books around, they're not very long either. They're around I think they're around 160 to 200 something pages. So they're pretty short. They're pretty short books. So and they're not too difficult. And they're not difficult to read at all. So overall, I'll continue reviewing the other ones. Until next time, this is Killer Ant.